Hello, guys. Good day and welcome to the show. I hope everyone is doing just fine. And please, before we continue, just do us a favor by hitting the like button on this video. And also, if you enjoy what we do, kindly subscribe to the channel because that is going to help us a lot, and we are going to really appreciate it. And while we are on this topic, if you are interested in knowing why I make videos like this or why I decided to do headlines from Africa, you can ask me a question in the comment section. Just ask me a question about anything about the show, and I will give you a response as soon as possible. So let's carry on with the program for today. And let's look at some of the stories making the headlines in and around continental Africa. Blessings of same-sex couples. Case of Africa is special, Pope says. That the Holy Father said that about this whole issue of blessing same-sex couples. Africa is a special case and might need a little bit more thought be put into it. So let's just observe how all this play out. Pope Francis said in an interview published Monday that the case of the church in Africa was special with regards to the extra liturgical blessings proposed for same-sex couples. He told Italian newspaper La Stampa that homosexuality was something ugly from a cultural point of view for Africans. He was being asked about the opposition a document he supports has attracted. Declaration Fiduciae Supplicans, published on December 18, opens the possibility of blessing couples whose situation is considered irregular. In the Catholic Church, those include unmarried couples, divorced and remarried couples, and same-sex couples. The gospel is to sanctify everyone. We are all sinners. Why should we make a list of sinners who can enter the church and a list of sinners who cannot be in the church? He asks. Well, I think he made a very compelling argument. Let's be frank here. A sin is a sin, according to Christian Bible. There is no bigger sin nor smaller sin. Am I wrong, my Christian brothers and sisters? Am I wrong to say that a sin is a sin? Is there such a thing as a bigger sin and a smaller sin? Please educate me in the comment section below. I might be wrong on this. But like the Pope said, the church is the house of God, and God is merciful towards all human beings. Jesus came for the sinners, not for the godly. And we are all but mortal sinners, my brothers and sisters. So why should we have two sets of rules that applies to sinners? Why? I make a previous video talking about this same thing where an archbishop, I think that was the Archbishop of Bamenda Diocese, I think he goes by Bishop Inkeya, who was saying in an interview that same-sex people have chosen a path they want to follow. He does not appreciate that. And since they have chosen that path and they think it's good for them, why would they want him to bless them? Which I find that very cynical, because I wouldn't expect Archbishop Nkea to confuse his function and position as the Archbishop of Bamenda with his personal self. Now, your personal opinion about something does not matter if those people who are coming to you are not coming to ask for your personal opinion, but of that of the institution that you work for. They are coming to meet Bishop Nkea for blessings, not Mr. Nkea. And I also said that in case that same bishop is transferred from, let's say, Bamenda to some other parts of Cameroon, I don't think people in Bamenda, same-sex people in Bamenda, will go looking for him wherever he is being transferred to. For example, if he's transferred from Bamenda to Yaoundé, I don't think people from Bamenda will leave Bamenda to go to Yaoundé to look for him. No. They will meet the next person who is going to take over his role and function in the Diocese of Bamenda. If they want blessing, bless them. But I guess that is too much to ask from an African bishop. That is just too much to ask. But you know what? What do I know? Let's move on to our next story for the day. Kenya loses $200 million amidst oil dispute with Uganda. Wow, this is huge. This is really, really huge. Kenya, that is really suffering. The economy of Kenya is suffering, and now they are losing money as a result of dispute with Uganda. So let's see what this dispute is all about. Kenya's oil fallout with Uganda late last year has amounted to an estimated $200 million loss. New data shows that the loss extended for 3 months as Uganda opted for an alternative oil partner in October 2023. Both East African countries had an oil dispute last year, which led to a swift and decisive response from Uganda. Uganda's oil partnership shift cost Kenya over $200 million. Tanzania emerges as Uganda's alternative oil import destination. Kenya's energy industry faces uncertainty with potential impacts on major investment. This is huge. Kenya and Uganda have been at odds with each other since October last year over the future of their respective energy industries. Uganda said in November that it will begin working with Tanzania for oil imports rather than Kenya. This month, Uganda decided that it would officially be switching to Tanzania for oil imports after failing to get its national oil marketer, Uganda National Oil Company, licensed in Kenya to ease imports through the Mombasa port, as reported by the East African. This dispute originated from Uganda's displeasure with Kenya over a Gulf deal the countries signed with the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, which Uganda deemed harmful. As previously stated, Kenya has already lost over 200 million as a result of these repercussions, and analysts fear that the damage would only increase. So you can see how this is hurting Kenya's economy. You can see how Kenya is losing a lot of money by having this dispute with their neighbor, Uganda. I would hope that African countries can work together, can resolve their dispute in a more friendly manner so that it does not keep affecting us. There is no need for us fighting each other because I believe that if we can work together, if we can find common grounds, if we can compromise on certain things, we all are going to benefit. There is no point trying to prove who is stronger than who. But you know what? We wish Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania all the best, and we hope that they settle this dispute amicably. But you know what? Let's move on to our next story for the day. Tanzania blocks Kenya Airways passenger flights in response to Kenya blocking its cargo flights. It looks like Kenya is having a lot of issues with its neighbors, right? Because they are having a dispute with Uganda about license. And now they are having another issue with Tanzania. So let's continue. Tanzania on Monday announced it had withdrawn approval for neighboring Kenya's flagship carrier, Kenya Airways, to operate a passenger service between the countries beginning next week. A statement from the Tanzanian Civil Aviation Authority said the move was in response to Kenya Civil Aviation Authority denying Air Tanzania the approvals it needed to operate all cargo flights between the two countries. The Tanzanian and Kenyan foreign affairs ministers later tweeted that they were engaging each other to settle the dispute amicably within 3 days. The move by Tanzania is the latest trade dispute to plague the 8-member East African Community Regional Economic Bloc. Kenya has previously blocked the importation of milk from Uganda and farm products from Tanzania. Tanzania has restricted importation of onions to Kenya, leading to skyrocketing prices for the essential commodity. Landlocked Uganda is suing Kenya at the East African Court of Justice for denying government-owned oil marketer, Uganda National Oil Co., a license to operate and handle fuel imports at Kenya's Mombasa port headed for Kampala. I think these East African neighbors are at each other's neck. They are all trying to strangle one another. It's funny to see how they all cannot solve this issue amicably. It's funny to see how they all just go after each other. And the one thing they all fail to understand is that when they do that, they all lost, right? None of them win because it affects all of them and they all lose. So, like I said before, let's hope that these neighbors can work out their differences and can carry on with the smooth functioning of their respective countries.